I want to take you back to when I was in year 7. Now, I was a very skinny, lanky but short kid with glasses, had nothing going for him, had no friends at this point because I just started in secondary school. And my second week, I was carried horizontally across the design block into the toilets, and I was effectively flushed down the toilet. That was week 2. This sort of set a precedence for me, which was, you are weak, you are small, and you are terrified of conflict. Just was. Now skip forward 6 years, I'm in college, and I've been invited to go to the army for 2 weeks with my college group, and we basically just live the day to day in the army barracks. We do the normal stuff. We do like the running every morning. We do push-ups. We have to make sure our beds are perfectly to the millimetre neat. We're doing all the bleep tests. We're doing all the fitness side of things. Basically, what it's like to be in the army. And one of these evenings, we were sort of gathered together by the 2 privates that were looking after us. And they put us in this little common room, all sitting around on tables and on the floor and all sorts, just chilling out, probably about 20 of us. And they basically invited us to wrestle. Again, I am somebody who at this point is afraid of conflict. I'm in a safe space because I'm sort of in a grown-up environment. Being in college, you're sort of not in school anymore, so the social class system is sort of like, it's disappeared, but it's still there. Well, it is in my head. And they call me, right, Mickey Blue Eyes, that was my name, Blue Eyes, Mickey Blue Eyes. Take my glasses off, go into the middle of the room, and the idea is you sit back to back on the floor with whoever you're going to wrestle. And they go 3, 2, 1, and then you turn. You're not allowed to stand up. You must remain at most on your knees, and it's basically no rules. You can't punch or kick people, but anything goes, and it's first person to tap loses. Done. So here I am, nervous, but I know these people. I'm not necessarily feeling massively safe, but I'm at the army. I'm feeling okay about myself. I've been going gym. I'm pretty fit, but I'm still skinny. I'm still lanky. I've still got glasses. Still got no fashion sense. All that sort of stuff. We go into the fight, and before you know it, I've got, I think his name was Leon. I've got him in a chokehold. My legs wrapped around his hips. I'm on my back, and I've got him, and I'm waiting for him to tap out. And it's getting tighter and tighter. And I think I feel a tap. But what I realised was I was just hoping he would tap because I didn't want to be doing this to a degree. In my head, I was like, I don't want to do this. And so every time I got him into a position where I was in the upper hand, I would then just release. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, he tapped. Or, that's fine, that's too far. And then he would get back on me and then start again. And I'd have to get him over and all that sort of stuff. And it'd be back onto it. And I'd get him back into it. Or I'd put him on the floor and hold him down. And eventually, he tapped out. But the fight went on for so much longer. He ended up with a bloody nose because one of my elbows accidentally made contact because he was trying so hard to move around. Now, this is a guy who was significantly bigger than me. Was probably fitter than me because he played football every other night, whereas I couldn't stand football. And yet I was still winning. And the reason I was winning was because I'd done karate, but I hadn't thought about that. Karate was just a way that I was trying to express or trying to divert my fear and anxiety from bullies and put it into action, which I never actually put into action because I never got given an opportunity or I was just too afraid to. And here I was in a safe space, wrestling for fun effectively, and I kept winning. And then I went to the next round, won again, went to the next round, won again, and then we had the next up from privates. They came in and basically kicked off and said, what the fuck are you doing? You can't be doing this, blah blah blah. But I absolutely smashed it. And what it made me realise was people who, like myself who were bullied, we almost turn into weak versions of ourselves. And I know that sounds brutal, but we are very weak men in society. And them sort of men do not win. They don't come out on the top. They don't get the pretty girl. They don't get the happy ending and stuff like that. And if they do, it's temporary. something has to change in order for that person to come out on top. And that was me. And at that point, when I was just before the 3-2-1, I was that guy. I was that weak guy. Like, I had this idea in my head I was going to fall in love, have babies, this, that, and the other, all this sort of stuff. But I was a weak man. I didn't have a monster inside me. Jordan Peterson famously said, all men need to have a monster. They need to be the monster in order to be peaceful. Like, you have to have the monster within you and then choose not to let the monster out and choose peace. Otherwise, you're just in submission. You're just in a state of submission. What this is, in my opinion, is the harmlessness trap. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but effectively, if you're not capable of being a monster, then you're just harmless. A rabbit isn't moral because it doesn't kill. It's just not. It can't kill. It's not capable of killing. It's prey. We as men need to build the capacity to, I'm not saying kill, but we need that capacity within us, the strength, whether that's the gym, your finances, your career, anything like that. And it needs to be built up inside you so that you can choose the alternative. That way, kindness is a choice. You're choosing to be kind. I would say it's very easy for men to fall back into, once they've been in that position, to fall back into that position is very easy. An example I'll give you is, I'm in an IBA. I'm about halfway, just over halfway through my IBA. Now, I could quite easily let that just keep knocking me down, and then something else goes wrong, knocks me down, and I become this weak man who is, in my eyes, left with nothing, and I've got nothing to give. And the easiest thing to do is just be a nice guy and just, okay, yeah, that's fine. When somebody pushes me around, yeah, that's fine. Okay, no worries. I'm just being nice. Are you being nice, or are you being a submissive? That's the difference. Now, I'm not saying anytime someone pushes you around, you need to punch them or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to be able to defend yourself. You need to be able to fight back verbally or just show some authority so people don't push you around. How can you expect the world to treat you with respect if you don't respect yourself and don't have something, some fire inside you that has drive, passion, direction towards something? Like, if you haven't got that and you're just a nice guy, which there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy, but choose to be nice because the alternative is being a monster. That's what you need to do. The reason I brought up the story of me back in when I joined the army for 2 weeks is purely because that discipline that I learnt then and there helped shape me into who I am today. Now, it might not have been something that was on my mind every single day from that moment until now, but that moment in itself was almost like a turning point for me. It went from me being the little bitch at school who was just the bottom of the barrel in every sense, and then proving to myself that actually, no, there is a monster inside me that if I wanted to, in theory, it could come out. I've been choosing to be the nice guy. I thought I was being the weak guy because I've got nothing to offer. I've got nothing to fight back with. I am just weak. So I implore you to find your monster. And I'm not saying go out there and fight people or anything like that. Understand who you are. Take a boxing class and just see what you do. Just see if you've got a punch in you, something like that. Get some activity. Men thrive when we're doing physical things. It could be a football game. It could be rock climbing. Anything. But find that fire inside you. Find that monster. And once you know that that exists, choose to be the nice guy. I do not want anybody going out there and being arseholes just for the sake of it. There's enough of them out there all the time. They normally got hoods up, balaclavas on, and they walk around and they think they're this, that, and the other. Those are full monsters, switched on, and there is no off switch for them. Like, they're not. But my biggest thing, and this is what I want more people to do, is I want them to take what they have inside them and start looking out for other people around them. We as men are becoming weaker and weaker as a society, and I get it. We are told left, right and centre, at every job you go to, we're told that we are the harassers, we are the people, the victimisers, the arseholes, the ones that have got it easy, all these different things, and it's enough to demoralise anyone. And hearing that every single day, yeah, I get it. Now, I'm not saying that means you need to fight against the system, not what I'm saying. Start journaling, start writing down your thoughts, get that weakness and push it aside. Find your fire, find your monster. Sounds a bit weird. And then use it and defend people. There's so many assholes around the world in the world at the moment. In England, I live in England. As a normal person living in a fairly big town, I can tell you now, there's assholes everywhere. And I'm not saying go and start fights or pick fights. I'm saying stand up when you need to. Do it. Like we need to, as a collective, as a society, us men need to start standing up for ourselves and for each other, and bringing it back. Because otherwise, we're going to be walked on for the rest of time. And when that happens, I can assure you, based on everything I've seen, it doesn't look good for society. And I'm not saying us men are the key, but unless women are willing to step up and start beating up people on the street because they slapped the man's up, it doesn't work, does it? It needs to be men. Generally, the bigger people need to start standing up for everybody else and themselves. As soon as you have weak men, women don't want that. They don't want the weak man. It's okay to show your emotions. I'm not saying that. Absolutely, if you find someone you trust and you want to show your emotions or share your emotions with this person that you trust, do it. I can tell you from personal experience, it feels great to be emotional with somebody and let them in is a great feeling. Considering when for the last 25 years or so, it's always been push your emotions down, they don't matter, and stuff like that. That's how you go into like depression. That's how you go into being weak. That's how you go into being a complete monster and don't turn it off. Like, you need to deal with yourself, and the easiest way I can explain that is journal. Write down your thoughts. And eventually I'll do a video on what I do for journaling, but I'm still perfecting it because I've got so many different journals that I've been doing for numerous years, and I'm trying to find the one that works the best. And I think it's a combination, but I'll talk about that in a later video. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. All the best.